I sat at my desk last week and I thought, why does this feel so off? Nothing was wrong. My clients were happy. My content was going out. Something was saying to me deep inside my body, though, this isn't it anymore. And honestly, I was like, okay, little freak out moment. But then I realized what was happening. So this is what we're going to talk about today. If you are in that friction between what once fit and what no longer does, that moment, that subtle ache, that is the signal that your next level is already trying to land and that your current identity cannot hold it anymore. Okay? Even if you have done all the healing, can we say all? I don't think we can ever say all the healing. Okay, even if your strategy is working right now, you have been there, you've held the vision, you're raising your prices, posting the content, you've stayed in the room. But if you are honest, maybe you're exhausted because you have hit this threshold of who you used to be. That is not burnout, that is biology, it's quantum physics. This is the energetic weight of an identity that is disintegrating so that a new one can emerge. So welcome back to Resourced. If we've not met, my name is Jessica. I help soul-led women build businesses that match who they have become, not just who they had to be to survive. And in this episode, I am going to walk you through what it actually looks like to collapse timelines. Okay, no fake high vibes, because this is not an easy emotional process. We are going to talk about the emotional and somatic symptoms that I see in women right before they leap and why things often feel so heavy right before they speed up. And also, at the end, and stick around, it's not a long episode, at the end, I am going to share with you how for the month of September and October only, and only for podcast listeners, you can book a free 30-minute diagnostic call with me. Okay, so let's get into it. This is what I really feel like is honestly missed in most coaching rooms. Every time you hit an edge in your business, what is actually happening is a vibrational dissonance. Your frequency has already shifted, but your identity has not. So you're outgrowing your current field and your body can feel it. That friction, that tension, that sense of something's off, it is your nervous system trying to hold the blueprint of a self that no longer exists. Quantum physics tells us that energy collapses into matter through observation and intention. But most women will try and build a new business without shifting the internal observer. So they will keep making plans from the version of them that has already expired. So maybe you're not stuck, okay, like I thought I was last week. Maybe you're actually vibrating between two timelines, and the one that matches your truth is waiting for you to fully choose it. Okay, by the way, these are the conversations that we can have inside my Transcendence Mastermind. We do not bypass this tension. We harness it. We normalize it. Because that discomfort, that isn't dysfunction, that is data. So your identity, it is going to become the portal. Okay, it's not the problem. Nothing new has ever come into my business without an internal identity shift first. So we collapse timelines not by doing more, but by becoming the woman who already holds what we are calling in. Okay, that is not a mindset shift. That is a whole vibrational recalibration. And it's why so many women spin in these strategy loops. They're trying to collapse a quantum leap with linear effort. But quantum leaps don't operate on effort. They operate on energetic coherence. That is why identity work is so confronting. Okay, I have a whole program for it. It's called the Ascension Academy. It is not about being better, okay, but it is about becoming braver. So this is going to look like things like saying no to what no longer fits, even if it could work. Pausing a launch that feels clean but not clear. Or allowing space without panicking about momentum. It's going to look like making decisions that are making your current identity want to jump out of her skin. Whilst there's this part of you that's like, oh, this is what I actually know I need to do. So if you want to collapse a timeline, you have to collapse the identity that is keeping time for a life that you no longer want. Okay? And you can't rush past this process. Every timeline collapse is preceded by one honest decision. There is always one. The moment that you'd make a decision, that means that you have actually stopped this performance of alignment. The moment that you make a decision that actually is bringing you into alignment, you are living it. Every woman that I have witnessed leap fast from a 5K month to a 30K month, from chronic burnout to consistent spaciousness, they've had these one pivotal moments of truth, and they stopped circling that and they chose it, and then they took action towards that, and they let themselves make decisions and do things and be that next level version of them that holds what it is that they wanted. And to be honest, it's not logic. This is about physics. A single aligned decision sends a vibrational ripple that reorganizes everything around it. And no, it doesn't look glamorous. In fact, it can be quite painful. It can look like letting go. It can be grief. It can look like risk. Okay? It is facing things that are hard. Because, if you go back to my episodes on ascension symptoms, quite often the ascension symptoms are coming up in the forms of cracks in relationships, breaks in friendships, you feeling like you no longer belong in rooms that you once felt like you belonged in. They're coming up as illness. They're coming up as your body communicating in all these different ways. They're coming up as self-doubt. They're coming up as old wounds that are now ready to be witnessed and healed so that you can move forward. So in order to leap, it is not always going to be all magical and comfortable. In fact, it can be, and a lot of people say that they spiral first and then the leap happens. Okay? So what if you didn't actually need another idea, but you actually just needed to have the courage and embody the identity to execute the one that actually scares you the most? What if you could get in a room of high caliber women who could meet you at that edge, on that edge of that honest decision that you've been avoiding? So that's what we do inside of Transcendence Mastermind. The thing is, I really don't believe that you were meant to replicate, okay? I really don't. I think that this is what I wish for every woman in my world to remember. You are not here to duplicate someone else's timeline. You are here to design a new one. And that's why it can feel like you're walking blind, because you are. Because there is no template for the business model that most aligns and the offer that most aligns to you. No roadmap for what it is that you need to heal, for what you need to face, for what you need to accept, for the identity that you are becoming. There is no roadmap for that. So yes, it can feel lonely. It will feel exposing. It will feel raw. But it's also going to be your greatest power. That moment that you stop waiting for the proof and you actually become it, that's when that collapse is going to happen. So stop waiting to see it done and be the one who does it first. All right? Now, if you are hovering on the edge of something big, your mind is spinning, maybe your strategy feels unclear, or you know that your energy is splintered, then I made something for you, only for podcast listeners. This is a free 30-minute diagnostic call only in September and October. We will get on a call for 30 minutes. We will identify your actual bottleneck, whether it be internal or structural, strategic, We will clear the energetic fog so that you can actually see what's next and map the next decision for you that will change everything. This is the kind of precision and power that we bring into my containers. Okay, so the link is in the show notes. Go and book your diagnostic call. And as you remember, as you move forward, please remember that the collapse, it's not necessarily a breakdown, even though it might feel like it. This mindset has served me so well. It is an upgrade. It is the precursor to your upgrade. Okay? This is about telling the truth. You're in that stretch. You're in it. You're in the edge of an identity collapse. And that's going to feel all the feels. Sometimes it's so easy and sometimes it's painful. But what is on the other side? That is not just success, that is peace, that is alignment, that is power and a business that doesn't cost you everything. So just accept that you are now building from a new frequency. So let's collapse that timeline together. Go and claim your free 30-minute diagnostic call. And I will see you next week. Bye for now. Thank you for tuning in to Resource with Jessica Reed. If today's episode spoke to you, I'd love for you to share it with another soul-led entrepreneur who is also ready to rise. Make sure to subscribe, leave a review, and stay connected, because when you are deeply resourced, you become unstoppable. Until next time, my friend, stay resourced, stay radiant, and trust in the magic that is you.